Welcome to Valor Stories. In each episode, we honor a hero awarded the highest gallantry medal, celebrating their courage and sacrifice. Join us as we bring their legacies alive. The top-scoring Allied fighter pilot was born on 8th of June 1920 in Obrazhivka, Ukraine. He graduated from the Shostka Chemical Technical School and learned to fly at the Shostkinsk Aero Club. Upon graduation, he joined the Soviet Army in late 1940 and graduated from the Chuguyevsk Military Air School in 1941. He was retained as an instructor for 2 years before finally being posted to the 240th Fighter Aviation Regiment in March of 1943. On 6th of July, he scored his first kill when he downed a Ju-87 dive bomber. By the end of the Battle of Kursk in August, he was leading a squadron and wearing the Order of the Red Banner, and by the end of the war, he had won the Soviet Union's highest award, Hero of the Soviet Union, 3 times and downed 62 fighter planes. Ivan Nikitovich Kozhedub was born on 8th of June 1920 in the village of Obrazhivka in the northeastern Sumy region. He was the 5th and youngest child in a poor peasant family. His mother died when he was 3. His father was a hard worker. Apart from the routine farm work and home chores, he had a part-time job at a factory in town, but he still found time to read books and even compose poetry, which influenced the artistic nature of Ivan. At 6, Ivan went to school, a regular 7-year public school, and did very well in most subjects. In 1938, inspired by the first flights to the North Pole, he joined a flying club where he learned the ABCs of aerodynamics, aircraft modeling, and piloting. In 1940, Ivan was drafted into the Red Army and sent to a military pilot school near Kharkiv in eastern Ukraine. It took him less than a year to complete the training course, and as the top graduate, Sergeant Kozhedub stayed there as an instructor. Kozhedub arrived at the front line quite late, only in March 1943, and his glorious combat path could have ended before it began. In his first aerial battle over Voronezh, his Lay-5 plane came under fire not only from German bombers, but also from Soviet anti-aircraft guns. Nevertheless, Ivan Nikitovich managed to land his damaged plane in a field. The pilot's finest hour came during the large-scale Battle of Kursk in the summer of 1943. On July 6th, he shot down his first enemy aircraft, a Junkers Ju-87 dive bomber. The following day, he downed another one, and on July 9th, he added 2 German Messerschmitt Bf-109 fighters to his tally. Senior Lieutenant Kozhedub received his first Hero of the Soviet Union star on February 4, 1944. At that time, he had 20 takedowns of enemy aircraft to his credit. Half a year later, he was awarded a second star. By then, his aerial victories had grown to 48. Ivan Kozhedub became a 3rd-time Hero of the Soviet Union in the wake of victory in August 1945. On February 15, 1945, over Frankfurt, Major Ivan Kozhedub shot down a Messerschmitt 262, the Luftwaffe's new secret weapon. It was the world's first operational jet-powered fighter aircraft. He was on a lone wolf operation together with Dmitry Titarenko to the north of Frankfurt when they noticed a plane at an altitude of 350 meters. It was flying along the Oder at a marginal speed for his plane. He made a quick about-face and started pursuing it at full throttle, coming down to approach it from under the belly. His wingman opened fire, and the Me-262 began turning left over to his side, losing speed in the process, and that was the end of it. The first ever jet fighter was just shot down. He would later recall, "I could have never taken it if 262 had flown in a straight line. The main thing was to attack enemy planes during turns, ascents, or descents, and not to lose precious seconds." One day, Kozhedub's Lavochkin La-7, one of the best armed and fastest fighters of World War II, that did up to 700 kph, was hit by an anti-aircraft gun. The engine failed and one wing caught fire. Kozhedub preferred a heroic death to bailing out. He chose a target on the ground and went into a dive. But then, suddenly, the engine restarted, just in time to avoid a crash. With the flames blown out in the dive, he managed to get safely back to his airfield. After World War II, Kozhedub continued serving with the Air Force, now flying jet fighters. In 1951, Ivan Nikitovich set off for the war in Korea. There he was in charge of the 324th Fighter Aviation Division, which scored 216 aerial victories under his command, but this time, Colonel was expressly forbidden to take part in combat sorties himself. From 1964 until his last days, Ivan Kozhedub occupied senior positions in the Air Force and the Defense Ministry. In 1985, he was promoted to the rank of Marshal of Aviation. He was also elected to the USSR Parliament for 4 successive terms. Ivan Kozhedub died on August 12, 1991, just a few months before the Soviet Union was dissolved, and was buried in Moscow. He was certainly one of the best pilots on the Allied side during the Second World War and an ace among aces. Thank you for subscribing and for your time spent watching Valor Stories. Until next time, remember their courage.